Hello, my name is Afrian Rahmat. I'm partner of Nusantara DFDL Partnership. I've been practicing law for more than 20 years and still counting. My expertise is in energy, resources, employment, and dispute resolution. There are few that could triggers for companies triggers dispute for foreign companies operating in Asia. The first one is compliance. Compliance means whether they comply with regulations. Many cases that I have been experienced, they've got a license but they are not comply with the environment permits kind of thing, what is written in the environment permits. So that's why they get sanctioned later on the environment permits, for example. Compliance also means that they need to comply with the standard operational procedure, like the anti-bribery or anti-corruption that they have. This is typically for multinational company that have a business in Indonesia. Like for example, whether they comply with the US FCPA or UK Bribery Act, that kind of thing. Other thing is whether they are familiar with the Indonesian local partner or familiar with the local markets in Indonesia. Whether they have correct or they have right local partners that they are using or they have a joint venture with them, and whether they can work together along the way of this joint venture. Other is compliance with the shareholders agreement, basically because usually they have a joint venture with local, right? So whether it's comply with what is written in the shareholders agreement. Sometimes after they sign, they don't really take a look on the provisions or contents or the provisions in the shareholders agreement, basically. Okay, when you talk about the contract enforcement, it's usually related to a civil litigation. In Indonesia, for enforcement of litigation of civil litigation proceedings, it can up to from the first stage until the final stage can up to 3 to 4 years. But for certain sectors like employment, the industrial relations is faster compared to other Southeast Asia markets. That's what I understand. Because in Indonesia, from the first stage until the final stage, probably can only up to 1 year, basically. For other like commercial, like bankruptcy, is also quite fast because there's a regulation that put some period of time to finish from the first stage until the final stage. So usually it will be within that time of period. In general, arbitration is the safe one. And it's the common one that is being used if it's involved foreign parties or foreign companies. But based on my experience, it still depends on the nature of the business. If from the beginning we already know that it will be the weight is on the local partner, I will prefer or I will advise our clients to choose Indonesian litigation. This is, for example, if it's about the transaction is about purchase of land, for example, the possibility or the potential breach of contract will come from the local partners or the seller, which is probably usually is an Indonesian company. Then I will prefer, I will advise that it will use a litigation. But if it's the weight is on the arbitration, on the foreign parties, arbitration probably the safer option that can be taken. Okay, before I answer that question, we as Indonesia is a civil law countries, we will need to see on the civil codes. And there are 4 rules, basic rules in making an agreement or making a contract in Indonesia. The first one is you need to have a consent from both parties. Second one is capable to sign the agreement or the contract. If it's individual, whether it's already mature or not. And for a company, usually whether they have authorization, like whether it's a board of directors or not. The third is there is an object on that agreement. It cannot be something an abstract one. The fourth one is whether it's comply with the rules and regulations in Indonesia. If you're talking about this missing contract, usually it's because it's not comply with one of the things is not comply with the rules and regulation. For example, there is a missing on the language law. In Indonesia, you need to have Indonesian language available in the contract. It's not always as a governing language, but it needs to have an Indonesian language, so it can be bilingual on that one. The other thing is you need to also to see on the specific regulation for specific sector. For example, for construction law, for construction contract, there is a construction law that mentions that it must be use Indonesian law as Indonesian governing law, as the governing law of the contract. There is also mention about the Bahasa Indonesia as the governing language of the contract. So this cannot be changed or cannot be waived because it's specific already being regulated under the regulations. Itself depends on the nature of the case because it's not a straightforward answer for this one. I have advised clients previously to settle amicably rather than to escalate it to litigation proceeding or arbitration due to good names of the company. I have experience in a chemical company, for example, one of the director doing some fraud. So because of it's related to the customer, they don't want to escalate it to litigation proceeding kind of thing. So at a time, we advise the client to settle it amicably. On the other hand, I also advise our clients to escalate to litigation. This is particularly related to employment or industrial relations proceeding, where if we settle it amicably, it makes other employees file a claim against the company or request for compensation to the company. By taking it to or escalating it to litigation proceeding, it makes the employee knows the stand of the company, and it makes the company's good names is also better. I will say that the management need to oversee on their operation, whether they are comply with the regulation, whether they are comply with the contract with the customer or their supplier. For example, if you are not comply with the regulation, you may lead to any dispute related to environment, for example, or giving a gift to public servant that leads you to violating your own bribery, anti-bribery and corruption rules. So this is probably the first sign that you lead to any dispute. On the second thing is on the compliance with the contract with the customer or supplier. You need to also take a look on the provisions of this contract, whether you already in accordance with the contract or whether there must be an adjustment. If there's an adjustment, you need to revise the contract directly, not to wait until there is an issue or there is a problem, because this small issue can lead to a bigger bigger problems in the future that can take lead to any disputes in the future.